Welcome to the Seawall podcast. I'm here as Matt Courtright, your lead host. I'm here with Mike Brown from the Sabercats. This guy's got a great history. He's the assistant coach this season, and we're gonna get to know him a little better today. The best part is he used to play with the Seawolves, and so it kind of helps bring him into the Seawall podcast, as we know. But Lord knows he's grabbed a couple of gears since he was with the Seawolves, to say the least, you know. And I got some questions for him, and everybody knows who Mike Brown is. That's the best part, honestly. So, Mike, we were chatting it up with Lance from the Great American Rugby.
Yeah.
And that kicked off. Yeah. Like, I guess you guys were quite the rivals off the pitch, or on the pitch, I should say.
Yeah. Well, at one point when our university or colleges played against each other, there was some big heat going on from either side, just some passion from both rugby guys. But I love Lance, and he's a great person in the rugby community,
isn't he?
Yeah.
Great compliment. Great compliment.
Yeah, he is. I love what he does with his the Great American Rugby stuff, and see all this stuff, and I agree with a lot of what he says, and he's born to do that type of interaction with the guys and have reactions of different things that are going on within rugby in the U.S. And he's a perfect guy. He's dealt with all different types of personalities and different backgrounds, and from the lowest level person to the highest level person. So I enjoy Lance.
Lance. He's awesome, right?
Yeah.
But okay, so you're from Michigan, yeah?
Yeah, just outside Detroit.
Okay, yeah. Boy, and then Bowling Green, right?
Yeah, Bowling Green State University. Did that for 4 years. We were pretty successful. We were, in college rugby always changes, so we were playing pretty much like the Big Ten back there. Played there, and had some good success. Played with some good players. Enjoyed my time there.
I love how humble he is, because I'm over here with my notes, and I'm old, right? I got to put it out here. Played from 2010 to 14, advanced to the national championships, collegiate championships each year. So he's like, yeah, we had some success. Like, yeah, dude, you're badass. And you were playing front row, or were you playing hooker the whole time?
Yeah, I was just playing hooker the whole time.
Okay.
Just always found that my spot. Obviously, it was a little different as you go up in hooker, but it was playing hooker.
It's a lot of responsibility at the end of the day.
Yeah, a lot. You still got to hit your throws, and you still got to scrum. So you got to, especially in today's rugby, you got to win your set piece. It's super important. Your hooker touches
huge.
Your hooker touches the ball every single time it goes out of bounds, or if there's a scrum. So to have a good hooker is super important in the game.
Yeah. And now you're really known as an assistant coach, right? I mean, oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, I love coaching the game. I love coaching American players. I love getting people. One of my whys is I love getting people to get to their top potential, and how I can support them to that. So that's sort of I love this sport and where it takes me, and all the while we're here today, it gives me opportunity to meet people that I normally wouldn't meet, and different backgrounds like Lance, and share those experiences with lifelong friends from different places around the world with the sport that I love to share with. So I love coaching.
Well, let's talk about how you got here. Like recently, I mean, you left Seattle. I don't know if it just your contract ran out, or how about you elaborate? I mean, Seattle, HTX, Sabercats.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it sort of went. It was really just an opportunity that got put in front of me before any real decision was made. I was still in Seattle, still training, ready to get going. But I had twins. It was just, I thought my time was really just not up, but just, this is a really good opportunity. Heineken Meyer called me and thought, they wanted to boost their academy. And it was really just a great opportunity that I couldn't really pass up with, especially, just my wife and 2 boys. And it was something I wanted to do, and this was a great start to get it going. And so I thought at the end of the day, it was right around, actually, I was there for the Chile versus USA game. It was pretty funny. I was there for the USA-Chile game out in Glendale. And, I just see that game, and we lose that game heartbreakingly, and we don't qualify. I see Chile. And that's when I was like, I had a realization, what is my impact, just training for MLR, or, what is, what's important. I know that I have this huge passion to deliver sport and make rugby, where it needs to be in the States, and there's a lot of work to be done. And that next week is when I got the phone call. So that's when it was an opportunity to be like, all right, yeah, I need to go into there. And yeah, done with the academy. I'm still with the academy also, as well as coaching with the Sabercats. So I still do both. I'm very close with it. Wow. And there's a lot of guys with the academy standpoint. I think this year we've got 5 guys from our academy into contracts. Our average age is 21, all domestic guys. And just more guys that we just want to keep on pumping out to be able to funnel in. And those guys, those guys really don't know my background as much either. Sometimes I have to remind them from it. But I love helping out these young American guys, because if I can give them more knowledge and just more information, rugby IQ, they can, that age of knowing and just rugby brains, they'll be able to, instead of right now MLR guys coming in at 28, 27, 28, we can get these guys down to 22, 23, and then they can really help the U.S. team going forward at the right age of 28 going into the World Cup. So that's sort of a whole cycle thing. But it's a grind, but, it's 9 months. We train three times a week right here. You saw the facilities, which is a great place for a rugby guy, who's young to want to develop, and with the S&C coach, with the direct pipeline for guys that are, wanting to go. That's a great avenue for guys who want to jump young guys who want to jump to the MLR. A great pathway to do that. And obviously with my time with the Sabercats, helping with the recruitment side of things and the opposition scouting reports and post-game analysis, as well as assisting with the forwards under Pote Human and Heineken Meyer. It is quite an honor to be with them, and the knowledge that I got that I'm having, and the work that we're doing here. So I love it. I attack each day with enthusiasm. So I just love my job.
Dude, it's contagious too. It's like I want to kind of jump up and down with them right now. I don't know about you guys, but like, it's like this guy's infectious. That's all there is to it. With positivity all day. I mean, and that's something that Lance had mentioned too. So I'm glad that you made time for me. We've been talking for a few months. We've been shooting the gift for like. A couple of years actually. Yeah. I was driving down the road. I got a text of my friend that I just borrowed her car actually, and she had rolling down the highway and sees this big advertisement for HTX, and I'm like, oh shit! So like I sent it to Mike right away. I was like, bro, my friends are seeing it. Start to catch on in Houston, kind of thing. Like one fucking one fan, big whoop-de-doo, but I don't know. But hey, it only takes one at a time is all we got, right?
Absolutely.
So we'll build it. And he's like, oh, that's great. A little feedback. He was humoring me, but whatever. And then just been keeping up. And then this season, because he's going to be humble. That's he's good at that. So this season, like they bring him in to help with draft because he knows it inside and out, if I remember the story correctly.
Yep.
And here we are as assistant coach for the actual Sabercats, which is a great leap from HTX. Not like HTX is bad, but just to actually be in the spotlight at the professional level and doing HTX. I mean, I'm sure you're just spread thinner is all it is, but it's really fun to watch because you did so good as a player, but outside looking in from me. No opinion was foreign prior, but like, dude, you're killing it at coach. I mean, like I can tell that I can see why this season Sabercats has always been good. So like, not like they haven't been, but this year there's something different about them, and they're better. And one of the things in the coaching staff that is noticeable is you. So he's not going to take the credit, but I got him right here. Because it's a game changer, especially his relationships and knowledge of the players and the game, of course. And of course, I'm going to take it with, they got a couple of Seattle guys, and, that doesn't hurt any. Let's put it that way. We got Larome White from the first championship. We got Jeremy, and I'm not going to butcher his last name. Thank you, Misalago, which I should know better because he actually grew up right next to where I live and was an OG again, just like Larome. also on a championship team in the waking hours of the MLR, and then they got man, you guys just got AJ. And my heart just kind of everyone like Rookie Nick Greer, right? He's got AJ's boots from the 22 season when we went to the championship, and he holds those dear, right? And so he's gonna be so jealous that I got to go hang out with you guys. You know what I mean? So
I love AJ.
Yeah, and all of them. It's awesome.
Yeah, all of them. They're you just play in the league so much, eventually you just hop on different teams. Eventually it just all works out in a big circle. But really happy to have those three guys, and all of them are really, they know what it takes to be a professional. AJ coming in, obviously playing Super Rugby, but he was, one of the best, in our early days, Seattle players of all time, probably. Right. And you have Larome and Jeremy that, first time MLR guys. Those, you look back in 20 years, people will probably, hopefully this league is still up, but people will talk about those type of guys.
And they're still playing. I mean, Jeremy was the man of the match last week. The guy's still kicking ass.
Yeah, hard work. Well, if you have to, American guys still playing the league and starting from the beginning, they're going to be hard workers, because if you weren't a hard worker, you're probably not going to make it. And both those guys are extremely hard workers and dedicate their time and know how to be professional. So it's really good to have them both here.
Yeah. And the world just keeps getting smaller. I could go on and on, but nobody wants to hear that. But now let's talk about your queen, Ariel, and your twin boys.
Yeah.
This is a huge deal. I mean, my son's 25. He helps me with a podcast. He got me into rugby. Family's everything in our culture, in all sincerity. Man, let's get some bragging going on, bro. Let's go. Tell me about these boys and this queen of yours.
Yeah, no, Ariel, she, we got married in COVID. And while I was in New York City, we were actually supposed to get married during, I was playing for New York the bye week. That was supposed to happen. And obviously, the whole story with COVID. And we decided just to get married during COVID. And obviously, that all changed, and COVID all changed. So sort of that's why I left New York, just because it's something different. Everyone's life sort of just changed after COVID, and so that's why I moved down to Texas for that 1 year because of that. And then obviously got picked up in Seattle the second year, going out there, and she's been very supportive through my journey during this whole trip.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And she went all the way out to Seattle while she was pregnant with the twin boys, and that's where they were. They were born in Seattle. Seattle Hospital.
Wow.
So I'll always remember.
So you and Metri.
Actually, yeah.
Around the same time, right?
I think he was a month earlier. We were just keeping each other, a safe space between us, be able to talk. And he was a month earlier, and then mine happened 2 months, or I should say a month with two of them. And Theodore and Ezekiel, and they were all healthy. They were little, twins. They get born a little earlier, so they'd be in NICU for a bit. So go to training, go to the hospital for a month. At the end of that season, but it was all worth it, and they're all healthy. And when the call happened, they all moved down. My wife again with the twins moved all the way down to Houston, Texas from Seattle. Wow. It was a big. Luckily, we have some great family members to help us out during the transition. But she's been, really supportive, knowing what my dream and passions are for this sport, and what's my whys, and she's very supportive of the job, even though sometimes she thinks I'm probably obsessive. With it.
You're right. You were right.
I think she asked
politely.
This weekend, there's more rugby games. After watching a couple of them, there's a third. After back-to-back after this last MLR weekend, there's a third. Yeah, there's a third. There's always one more. But, it's great, actually. This facility is great to have my kids here. A lot of times they, hang out at the fields. My kids, for some reason, love the scrum sled. So they have a, maybe that's somewhat of a future for them. Maybe one of my sons definitely enjoys me hitting my shoulders on the pads on it. He thinks it's the funniest thing ever. But with our big fields over here, field one kid will be on field one. Over here on the practice field, another kid will try to go, all the way down to field two, and I'm holding one. But it's a good place to be though, because they can't do much. It's definitely a great, the rugby environment, having these kids, letting them just run out here.
How old are the boys now?
Just turned 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they're young. They're young
Yeah. Oh man, and they're just like probably into everything at this point in time.
everything, jumping. They're fearless.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
They're into tackling each other now too. So,
oh man.
So,
now, are they mirrored twins?
No.
Okay.
They look, they look like brothers, but they're not. They're not.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, no, I had to ask. You know,
no,
they're coming
everyone
out at
asks.
the same time.
Everybody asks.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're good guys. I enjoy them, and they keep me, my wife and myself on toes. First time having kids. Right. She's a twin also, so there's genetics into there, and so,
well, that's interesting because normally it skips a generation too. So that's cool.
It does. So. 0 to 2. We don't know what one's like. And straight to man.
Yeah, one diaper's full, and the next one's all of a sudden full.
Yeah,
rotate. One wakes the other one up. Oh yeah.
That's how it is. But no, they're doing great now, and it's been obviously a whirlwind having growing or getting the twins up to speed and just getting their bodies growing, and while we're in this transition. But that's part of life, and My wife's very patient and very,
I'm thinking,
and very supportive.
Does he ever sleep? Because so today's a Wednesday in MLR. Those that you don't know, normally Wednesday across, the country is the day off, right? So we're doing on Wednesday, and by the way, all the coaches are here, the trainers, they don't get a day off. It's crazy because they work the weekends. That's when they make their money and they get spotlighted. So then. He was nice enough. Well, I'll do it on my day off. Why not? I got, only 100 other things to do. So why not?
Oh, it's super important. This league started from the beginning and make sure each fan by fan. And you do a lot for rugby, Matt. So, I love the passion with it. And I share the similar passion. So, into every single player. So, anytime we talk rugby, I'm always in.
People don't, like you said, your wife, and she supports my why. And I'm like, wow, that's my wife. I totally respect that. It's a lot. It's a lot to put your spouse's needs right there with yours because a lot of people just naturally don't do it.
Yep.
You lucky enough to have a queen that does.
Yep.
I can respect that. I can understand that because at the end of the day, if they're not into rugby like we are, they're looking at us sideways going, what is wrong with this guy? Why is this one sport so important to them where they just built their whole life around it? And it's until you're in the mix, in the community, you really just don't understand. I don't know, it's kind of like the church of rugby is how I kind of try to explain it to those outsiders that don't understand it. Because it's so much more than a sport. And guys like you are a good example of how it's become so important in your life.
Yeah, love the sport. Like I said, the relationships, friends, having it after the game, the connections that you make, just the game itself. Love the way you can express yourself and what it takes to win. And it takes a lot, knowing each other off the field just as important as what you do on the field. So a strong connection is going to be a better on the field performance as well. So those values, you need to have those. We talked about those, Jeremy and Rome, those values of the character that you're going to need. You need that in your playing group, just not 1 through 20 or one. I think people misconceive that seeing just 1 through 15 or 1 through 23, but it's a 1 through 35 or how many are you guys have on your roster. You need to all be going in the same direction. The arrow needs to be pointing the same way, and if someone else's arrow is going a different way, that's a current. So you're going to have a little riptide there and a little turbulation. So you get too many going in one way, that's when things can go astray. So you need to have the right type of people in there, and you got to treat people off the field just as well as their performance on the field.
Get it? I get it. No, I get it. Yeah, I know. Coaching and managing and all that. Boy, you're doing it all. And I would love to be able to come back and kind of shadow you at some point, just kind of out of curiosity, because I can't relate too much, but I've always helped with small. Well, I shouldn't say small. I've always helped with youth clubs, and I've dealt with a lot of kids. What you're dealing with a lot of kids, and it's interesting to just to see what is all on your plate, and I'm sure that you're just so used to it that you probably don't even realize how much is on your plate at times. Otherwise, you'd probably. But
I love it though. There's a lot of things. We go back to what's going to help us to get better as a rugby country. You got to attack from both sides. Obviously, we're helping the MLR side at the very top, but you got to attack from the very bottom. So working with the youth community in here, focusing just believing in our player pathway. And sort of, as you can see, more players are going about it, but it starts at the club rugby, making sure those relationships are very, very sound. And when I got here, they weren't as strong, and really put a lot of emphasis in the beginning, working with those people, and making sure our U18s are very, very strong with our Sabercats U18s. So the best players, we have good relationships with those clubs, and those best players can get identified. And then those players that do get identified or don't know what the level and expectation is to become if they want to get better. So they go back to their clubs, and the guys who get selected or not to get selected go back to their clubs, and they raise the level and the bar. And then those players that go through our Sabercats U18s. Last year we had 5 players go from our U18s into our senior academy.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
You guys got a hooker, not just him, as your. You got player of the match 2 weeks ago, if I recall correctly.
Player,
the Viking.
Seth Smith. Yeah, player. He was player of the week. Player of the week.
Oh, even better. Yeah, I mean, holy Moses.
Yeah, very proud of Seth. Worked with them. So, you don't get too much as American front row where we talk about I played hooker the whole time to get that knowledge. Seth was a very talented player when I saw him identified. Obviously, he was identified already. But to really, develop into the front row, it does take a lot of work. And I remember.
We got a guest.
Oh, jeez.
It's singing us a song. Well, needless to say, a bird flew into the room that we were in down in Houston, and it wasn't being quiet. It was so loud in that room. Mike and I could not, we tried to carry on, but it just didn't work. The bird was such a nuisance. So anyways, Mike is a great guy. He came on, he made time. It was his day off during the week before we played the Sabercats. Seattle played the Sabercats in Houston. He was nice enough to give up his Wednesday, which he had the day off, to do the interview. It was very gracious of him. And we look forward to having him on the podcast again in the near future. Sabercats are killing it this year. It's 2024, and, anybody's game. So good luck to you, Mike, and the Sabercats. And thanks for being on our show. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.